Well, hello and welcome to the Church Office Podcast. My name is Gavin Smith, and it's a joy today to welcome you to our Administration and Operations Podcast. We love talking about ministry and what we need in the church to support our elders and how do we manage churches effectively? We're asking those kind of questions and thinking about that today. I've got Pete Greasley on the podcast. Welcome, Pete.
It's nice to be here with you, Gav.
It's great, and I'm grateful for him. He always says yes to me. I was like, Pete, can you come on my podcast?
Oh dear, I'm retired, Gav. You dragged me out of retirement.
Yes, wisdom. You drag wisdom out of retirement. So
we'll see.
So give us an update for those listening. What do you mean when you say you retired and you're stepping back and
well, I'm.
Give us an update.
People need to watch my message one last time.
Yeah.
Here, that's the best. That describes it all. That explains why, at 66, I've stepped out of pastoral ministry in the way that I was.
Yeah.
So essentially what it means is, I think for the sake of the church, for the sake of another generation, for the sake of being able to serve other churches and other pastors, it was the right time for me to retire from the responsibility of being the senior pastor and an elder.
Yeah.
So I'm out of that, but at the same time, I'm staying in the church.
Yeah.
I love this church; it's home. I'm still wanting to serve you guys and the pastors more of as a consultant, as an advisor.
You've got a cool title, haven't you? Like Pastor Emeritus.
I think
they're
right? Announcing that properly next year, from what I can gather. Yeah, we don't know what that means, but it's just give the old guy a title because he's been here for 50 years or whatever it is. So yeah, that's the score at the moment. So I'm enjoying the last few months where I've not had to carry the weight of responsibility that I've done for the last 30 years here and 10 years before that in other churches.
Yeah. Now I wanted to get Pete on talk a little bit. I first asked him thinking about offsites and retreats and as people start the new year, teams or leaders will go away and will think about the year, reflect on last year, and you've done that for many years.
Yeah.
And some people might consider this kind of a businessy kind of thing to do, an offsite, and where they're re-envisioning and some leaders that I come across struggle with that word vision and trying to kind of navigate that. So I want to kind of draw you out a little bit on that topic.
Okay. I will do my best.
Where should we start?
Well, just historically, I guess that, I think right from the start and prior to that, normally beginning of the year, you could do it any time, but the beginning of the year is an ideal time. And we've always gone away with the elders and the administrative staff. And anybody else that we might feel we want to bring into that, to take a few days away to sit and assess last year, to sit and look at this year and see if it lines up with where we want to go and what we want to do. And what we found, you remember, what we found is some of those times, thoughts have come out as we prayed together, taught together, ideas have come out that have just been so substantial in the forward momentum of the church. Because you've got time to think and pray and talk and relate and come together and decide this is where we want to go and this is what we want to do.
Yeah. Now, I've always said to people that have asked me that you've always had a vision, you've always had a style of leadership that's forward thinking, that's what are we building, how do we build it? You've always kind of naturally asked those questions. And it has, where did you pick that up from? Was that something that just, that you just had, that's just a gift that God's given you? Or was that stuff that you picked up from different places and thought, I've learned this and this, and now I want to go this direction?
I don't know. It probably started at 16 when I got a job in Woolworths as a trainee manager.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
I went through the whole Woolworth management training system for retail management, which was excellent. If I look back at it, it was superb.
Yeah.
But your job was to be prepared and ready to take on a store and see that store succeed and be effective and grow and make money.
Yeah.
So I was in that for a number of years and did a lot of other jobs for 10 years before I came into ministry. So I guess there was always that in me.
Yeah.
So one of the things I found when I came into ministry was that a lot of the guys that I would relate into, well, they'd been to Bible college, which I hadn't.
Yeah.
They loved their theology, which I did, but not to the degree I needed to, which has changed over the years. But their ability to think and plan and structure and to know what am I looking to achieve?
Yeah.
What are the priorities? What is the purpose of this church, as opposed to just a general purpose? It's not enough just to preach a good sermon on Sunday and sort out the children's work and do a bit of evangelism. There needs to be a strategy. So for me, strategy toward a goal is vital if a church is going to thrive. I mean, and you see it right through Scripture. You know, Jesus, more than anyone, has a strategy. He said it heading towards Jerusalem. He knows what he's doing. All the way through the Gospels, we see that. You see, Paul has a complete strategy of what he wants to do, where he wants to go, and I want to get to Rome, and I'm hoping to come to Spain, and I'll be back with you again. So all the way through Scripture, and then all the way through the Old Testament, it's strategic, it's planning, it's so that's why going away enables you to focus clearly into what is our strategy based upon what are our goals. What do we want to see come about?
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. And some dedicated time, isn't there, where you kind of step away from responsibility, and we'll often go an hour away, won't we, and go to a venue that really, you know, gives us the right environment to be able to do that, haven't you? And you've looked to bless people in that as well, haven't you, in terms of the places that we've gone and the things that we've done together. And but there's a whole element that you've added to it as well, isn't there? Not just the strategy and the vision, but the friendship and the team building that goes on there. And,
absolutely.
And you've done an amazing job at doing that.
Well, it's, you know, you want it to be, you want your team, your people that are involved in leadership in different ways. You really want everybody pulling together.
Yeah.
That means we've all got to buy into where we're going and how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Rather than just being told this is where we're going and this is what we need to do, we collegiately come to that point where we're all, we see this, we're agreeing, yes, we're hearing from each other. Yeah. So that's why those times of 3 days away, morning, noon, night, together, eating together, talking together. It's not just what happens around the table in discussing things, but it's what happens in all the other times. And so you would know that we wouldn't overly structure it.
Yeah.
I don't overly structure because you want time and room.
Yeah.
Let's pray. Let's talk. Let's think this thing through. Let's consider this. So there are some things you really do want to put into place, but not overly structure it so that you've just got to rush through everything and not feel that you've really had time to share together, to talk together, to examine things, to go to bed, think about it, get up the next morning, go through it a bit more. So I just think it's great. And then it builds relationships. So everybody comes out, everybody who's involved in taking the church forward comes out. We've all bought into this. We've all seen this. We've all contributed into the direction of the church. It's not just one person saying. So I might be responsible for initiating, but initiating thoughts or throwing stuff out or getting initiative from others.
Yeah.
But being together in that way is just, it's utterly vital. And then also that links into budgeting and stuff like that, because where you want to go and what you want to do determines the budget that you're going to put together. So we would always use that time to plan the budget for the year. Yeah. Because if something seems very important to us, we need to ensure that we budget for that. Yeah. And then we can look at last year and say, well, that wasn't so important. Yeah. We'll reduce that.
Yeah, reduce it and make it work that way. Yeah. So going back to your vision thing, did you, as a kind of senior pastor, always have to kind of bring the initiative to go, right, I think this is our vision, and then you help the team, you know, kind of draw into that and build around that?
I think it works. I think there's two ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yes, the primary responsibility I felt was to think and pray and come away with thoughts and some ideas and some assessments of where we're at and some challenges of where we need to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would always have those tickle around in my mind.
Yeah.
But then I would try and steer the conversations in a way that, what do you think about this, and draw it out.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we got to the very place that I wanted to get to, and I hadn't said anything.
Just enjoying that.
Just enjoying drawing it out, and everybody goes, "This has been a great idea from us," and I say, "Yeah, isn't that excellent? Let's do that." But that's just basic good leadership.
Yeah.
You give people room to think. You give people room to speak. You give people room to contribute. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What will work better here? What's not working well there? If you could do this, if we wanted to get, say, the children's word to this place, what are we looking for in the children? What are we hoping for them? What are we expecting?
Praying that God's going to do.
Yeah.
What do we?
What do we do? Okay, what could we change in order to make that better? Do you have any thoughts on what could be done? Let's think about what others are doing. Is there anything we can draw from others? So that kind of stuff takes time and in deep, long involvement and conversations, and you can't do it, particularly if you've got a group of lay elders. You can't do it during the week,
like 2 hours
off
in
and
an
on,
evening
or
meeting
a few hours.
Yeah.
You need substantial time together to be able to do that.
To build that and stuff. Yeah. Now, knowing the history of the church, obviously growing up in the church, we came from a restoration background, didn't we? And you know, you often talk about, you know, over our kind of 30-year anniversary, talked about kind of the trauma of leaving and wanting to build something different. And what the church heard and what we saw was building a church around the gospel that's centered on the gospel. That vision came to you. You've driven that over time. Fill in the gaps of how you got to that and what steps you might have taken to establish that.
Well, I think, for me it was a personal journey first. I would say back into the gospel of the centrality of the person and finished work of Jesus, the centrality of the cross, the joys of doing all for the glory of God, just things that I think I'd lost, that through old dead guys primarily, Mr. Spurgeon and the Puritans and a few others, renewed my love for the gospel and for Jesus in a different way, and realizing that that's what I had to give my life to. And so started preaching and teaching into that. The outcome was we couldn't stay where we were. And then coming to Newport was just, well, let's build something around those central points of Christ and Christ alone. Hence we called ourselves Christ Church. We didn't want to define ourselves by anything other than him. And then it was a matter of just preaching, teaching, living into that, applying the gospel, counseling, applying the gospel in everything.
Into every area.
Into every area. And that's what we've done for 30 years.
And you really laid the foundations, didn't you, through the preaching ministry to establish that, isn't there? And other people will come and build on that solid foundation.
Yeah,
the gospel.
We've tried to do that over 30 years. We're still there. That's what we're still all about. And others of the people, we're all about the same thing. The church, and not just in leadership, the church. The church understand that this is what it's about. This is why we gather. This is who we are. This is what we love. We want to talk about Jesus.
That's right. I mean, we just came from from a kind of leaving little cake thing, wasn't it? One of our cleaners going, and one of the things that she said consistently over me, and that fits in here, is that, you know, I want to clean the toilet so well that people don't leave here offended. If they leave offended by the gospel, that's great, but and you know, leave that to God. But yeah, I want to care for people, and I want this place to be a place where people can come and hear the good news and not be distracted, and just the facility is great, and you that gospel impact permeates right to the cleaner as well as
absolutely
as everything else. It's amazing.
It's not that she's no less important. She's probably more important than the rest of us, because you can take any one of us out, but you can't take them out. And it's just whatever anybody's doing or thinking or relating to, it's just all about Jesus Christ. It's all about what we have that we don't deserve, and what we don't have that we do deserve, that he took for us. If that is built into the soul and the heart of individuals through the preaching and teaching and example and care, then it just permeates every aspect. And that's been our strategy. So, you know, we haven't had, when you say vision, the vision is not, okay, we're going to have this many churches by this time. We've planted churches. We're going to expand into this. We're going to be this size. That's not been our vision. Our vision has been to, faithful as we can, to proclaim the gospel, love the gospel, apply the gospel, take out the gospel, build in the gospel. That's success for us. Whether the church is huge or small, that's secondary.
The size doesn't matter, does it? And you've never written up a 5-year vision plan or 10-year vision plan, and even the church office wouldn't, you know, advocate for doing that. But
no,
I think it's great to interact with it, because for us in our roles as church managers and ops people, you're trying to implement that vision and that culture of what what our leaders are trying to build. And you're trying to take it and translate it and think, well, how does that work with the staff team? How does that work with the welcome on Sunday, or the way we care for people, or the way we organise groups, or the way we use our finances? All those things affect it, and I want to understand the vision so I can capture that.
Which means you can do that. The idea of a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, to me, that is just taking a business model and try and put it in, like I did in Woolworths, for instance. What is your 5-year plan for this store? That's the way it will be. Church is different. Yes, you need to plan. Yes, you need, but I don't have a 5-year or a 10-year plan. I've only ever had an ultimate plan. And that ultimate plan is building a people for the glory of God that is encaptured with the gospel that affects the world, the world around them. And so every time we get together, all we have to do is say, what is aiding that? And what is working against that? And what can we do to help that? But that's what we're about. And so that's where it's not a 5 or a 10-year plan that I think is important. It's an ultimate plan. And when you say plan, ultimate calling, ultimate destination, when I'm gone, that's still hopefully what it's all going to be about. So you better define who you are and what you want, what you think the church should be and look like. And for us, it should look like this. That's the way we had it.
And I think what I've seen you how you've led is, there have been seasons where you've prioritized, outreach in a different way, or we've done, the eating after the meeting, or there are seasons where you've gone, actually, we really need to prioritize this. We need to put some resource into this, and this is the potential impact it could have on the church. Imagine that, and you've sort of dreamed what that could impact, and envision people that way.
You have to. So you've got to put some boot leather on stuff. It can't just be ethereal, pie in the sky stuff. So, when we come out of COVID, we looked at who we are. We're trying to, we're building a community centered around the gospel. And we realized during COVID that that had been ripped away from us, because in many ways, we're meeting online. We couldn't get together. We couldn't worship together. The means of grace that were normal were taken away. So if you remember coming out of that, I was saying to you guys, I think we need to eat together, the whole church.
Yeah.
Now we're back together every month or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Put on a full meal. Well, that was how many years ago did we start that?
5 years.
5,
Yeah.
and we're still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what it did is it built something of
The church
care,
enjoyed it.
community, service, and it's just been so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's deepened friendships, isn't it, and relationships,
massively.
where the gospel now is spoken and shared together, isn't it?
Yeah.
It fits into that ultimate plan.
And it fits into the plan of reaching out.
Yeah.
People bring their friends and they stay with us and we
Comfortable to
interact
do that.
with them. So, but that was something, it fits into the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
but it wasn't part of a 5-year plan.
No,
It was,
no.
what are we going to do?
No.
What should we do? Saying, we've opened the coffee bar.
Yeah.
Okay, why are we doing that? It fits into how can we care for the church? How can we enable people to fellowship in a deeper way? How can we reach out in a more effective way?
Yeah.
So you're always trying to think through, how do we reach that ultimate end?
And I love the way you've consistently kind of, connected it back to the gospel. And we talk about that in the church office stuff, isn't it? How do you help people see what they're doing and how they serve the church fits into this bigger picture?
Yeah.
Because that's where you find joy, isn't it? And satisfaction, isn't
Absolutely.
it? And purpose. And you're thinking, I'm serving on the camera team, but I'm enabling the good news to be preached to a wider community outside of us, to serve people who are on kids and didn't hear the message, and you're going to build that into them because you're serving, and you've always worked hard to make those connections and those ministries.
You've got,
those people.
I mean, you've got to, because again, that's basically good leadership. Whether you like Elon Musk or not, he's good at this. What he does, and if you read about Steve Jobs, what Elon Musk does is everybody's bought in to his vision, to where he wants to go, and and he'll sleep under the desk all night, and he's part of it. But they know what they're working towards, and they're part of that, and they see, they want to get to Mars or whatever. This is what they're about. They want to build a rocket. Okay. It's the same in a church. Connecting the dots for people that I'm not just doing a job to earn some money or doing a job as a volunteer because I feel I ought to, or there's a need. I'm doing this for the glory of God, to enable the gospel to go forward, to change people's lives, to serve others. So that's if the leader's not continually making those connections with people, people lose heart. Because they don't see why. And it's all, as the great book says, start with why.
You have told me about this book, haven't you?
It's a very good book. And
why are we doing this?
Start with why.
So for people who are listening to this and going, okay, great, an offsite, a retreat at the start of the year, what ways are you building in vision through the year? What are you doing? How do you do that with the church? How do you do that with the team? How do you do that with a member?
Well, you've just got to find ways to communicate that. Whether that's online, we've via the apps, which are brilliant because they're always keeping people in the loop. I mean, communication has always been a weakness within churches, and I think going back, it was a weakness for us. But we have these tools at our disposal. Church meetings. When we gather on Sunday, highlighting individuals, highlighting what's taking place. Communication is the key to going towards that. When people feel that they're not sure what's going on, or, as I say, why we're doing this, we need to be able to say that. So whether it's something as like the children's ministry, I was having a conversation with somebody just yesterday about it. Even though I'm retired, I'm still asking questions and passing on thoughts. We need to ensure that those who are serving in the children's ministry understand the whys. Now, I know there's a simple why. Oh, we want them to come to know Jesus. But why are we doing this in the way we're doing it? Is it most effective in this way? Could we do this in a more effective way? What are we looking to hope to gain? All those kind of things that we're always connecting into. This is our ultimate purpose. This is what we're about. How is it serving in the children's ministry? What can we change? What can we put in? So there's that continual sense of, episkopos, oversight, not just people, but you're overseeing the strategy and the planning and the working toward the goal of people being changed into Christ-like image and taking the gospel out.
Yeah. I think one of the other things that ties into that is that you've created a culture of grace, and that's a big question that a lot of people ask. How do we build a culture of grace? But one of the ways I think you have done it is by, the gospel says that we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to be able to do things perfectly. There's an embracing of kind of weakness in a way that God works through weakness to bring about, success or whatever you might look like. And so you've been quite comfortable with sitting down and reviewing and evaluating and making changes fairly quickly as well on some things. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well,
why is that important?
You know me, Gav, I don't really like lots of red tape. No, it's not the way I work.
You make my life easy.
Yeah. I'm not the kind of guy that goes, okay, well, let's just let's put this through a process and come back to this in 3 months' time and put reports together. I'm not like that. Yeah. When something becomes obvious, like let's do it, and let's do it now.
This is not working.
No,
right,
shut it
down.
Stop it. Shut it down. Right. If this were a dog, I'd shoot it. I've said that a few. I've said that a few times on a number of.
You said that about home groups as well.
I did, and just shut them all down. They were just awful.
Mothers and toddlers. That's probably a list.
Some things are just some things. You're just better off staying at home. Some things are just not working, and when they're not working, trying to tweak stuff all the time. You're better to say. This is not a sacred cow. This is, I think of Hezekiah's, the bronze serpent that Jesus had in the wilderness. And Hezekiah came along, and they were calling it Nehushtan. And they were worshipping this thing. And Hezekiah, when he came to the throne, I think it was Hezekiah, just took this thing and smashed it and snapped it and said, enough of that, boys. And that's always appealed to me, that sense of, we need to, if something's not working, and things won't work, back to Musk again. How many of those rockets blew up? And people say, oh, well, is that the end of it? No, we've learned something through the mistake here. This hasn't worked. This isn't working. It's not sacred. It doesn't define us. Some people will be upset if we shut this down or change this or put this in, but you're always going to have that. But what is the right thing to do? And if it's the right thing to do, let's get on and do it. Let's plan for it, and let's make those changes. And it tends to work. We don't need to have a structure that is like swimming through treacle. And I think some churches that I've worked with, to try and change anything, like nothing changes here. Try and change anything is almost impossible because of the constitutions that they put in place and the hoops and the things. I think, you really need to try and move some of that out the way so you can move forward and do what you need to do.
So you can actually bring some leadership, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sometimes
There are different ways. It's the difference between an innovative company and a bureaucratic government department. I think a lot of churches tend to be more on the bureaucratic government department than the innovative company style. I don't think that serves. I don't think it's necessarily biblical. In fact, I think the other way is far more biblical. When you read scripture and you see how things come about and what is done and how it's done, they didn't sit down at the end of Pentecost and sit and have a chat and say, well, how are we going to implement this? They fell out onto the streets, man. Preaching the gospel.
So the leadership part is, and you have said that, haven't you, that there are points where a ministry has grown so quickly that it outgrows maybe the leadership ability of that person, and that might need to change, or you won't. We've got a change of leadership, or we need to think about a change of leadership. So I think about the toddlers, the void that you left. You're like, do we have any leaders to do it? Because we could administrate it and make it work.
Yeah.
But actually, without a leader, that ministry is not going to flourish and grow.
Absolutely.
And do exactly what we're trying to do, which the ultimate thing is to bring glory to God and preach the gospel. So we go, right, we're not going to run it. And for 2 years, we don't run it until the leader actually emerges. You know?
Excuse me, that's vital.
And that, for some churches, is like failure, isn't it? Or stopping a ministry that's been fruitful for 14 years, like in the toddlers, because you've had a really good leader. Who's done so well, and there's been grace on it, and then you try and administrate it, and it is a takeaway point for us as administrators and managers to look at those things sometimes and go, oh, I can jump in and keep it going and fix it, but actually the better decision is close it down.
Again, this is the way I've always worked. I haven't looked at when we've been taking people on, and so I think everybody here at some stage I've gone after and said, would you come on board, those working full time particularly. I've never particularly done it, particularly within ministry, of looking, what do we need? Do we need this kind of guy? Do we need that kind of I've looked at individuals and thought, there's something about them. There's a grace upon them. There's ways in which they could serve, but I'm not fully sure yet. So I'd rather draw a team together of people on whom you see gifting and the grace of God, and see where that gifting and grace goes. That gifting and grace in the leadership then starts to permeate into the church, and the church becomes like those people. So those people start to, you're a great administrator. The church is strongly administrative because you've had room to function, to build, to do your own thing, whether it's evangelism, whatever it might be. You've just got to find the people and then let them develop the church rather than try to fit them into a mold that says, I need you to do this job and here's your job description. So nobody on ministry in this church has ever had a job description. They've had, here's the ultimate goal, now go for it and tell me what you're doing.
Well, priorities shift around, don't they? So you might oversee kids work or ministries, and then it shifts around.
And in some things you need to be clear with people what particularly in voluntary situations. I'm talking more about your main ministry team, giving them room to be who they are and to think and develop and push forward.
And it'd be fair to say not everyone leads like that, or their churches are like that. Someone listening to the podcast might say, "Oh, that just sounds amazing. I'd love to work in that kind of environment, but my leader's not like that at all."
It drives some people nuts. I've driven people nuts because we've had people come on board and they said, "I just don't know what you expect of me." I said, I expect you to thrive in the grace of God and do what God's calling you to do. Now with some clarity, but it's some people don't function in that way. It's I philosophically I think that's what good leadership looks like, but I might be wrong. But philosophically it's the way we've built here. I think a lot of leaders wouldn't want to build that way or wouldn't thrive in that environment. But I think it's necessary for a church to be able to grow, but grow not just inside in reaching out, but grow internally, to grow in the grace of God. I think the leadership is the key. So whatever area it is, it's about people. You have someone who has a grace gift to lead with a vision and a faith and a passion in an area. Boy, give them room and let them go and encourage them and support them. But if you have someone in a job without that, maybe that ministry won't survive or continue.
And I think we, as church administrators and managers listening to this, sometimes we can be the handbrake that slows things down, or we are the ones who are saying, what about this? The worst case scenario that could happen could be this, so we need to put this policy in. It just makes you, I hope people are listening to this and they're refreshed to go, how do I, in my role in admin ops, support you and the team to do that effectively. And now we want to do it safely, and there are safeguards that we need.
Yeah.
And there's still processes needed where we spend money and all those things. But
yeah, you've got to have all of that.
But
of course.
But what I've found, Pete, as I've kind of been on the road chatting to administrators, is they don't get the vision bit from leaders, which means they're trying to organise this bit, the implementation of it.
Yeah.
But they've not captured the heart or what we're trying to build. And I'd love for leaders who might be listening to this is, how do you bring those admin and ops people with you? Because we can think, all right, our leadership team I need to bring with me, but the support staff, how do we bring them with us?
Yeah.
So that so there's that understanding of what we're trying to do. And I've loved being in the prayer times where the team would pray together, because you're hearing, as the leaders are praying, you're hearing like what are the needs, what are the things that we're fearful about, what are the things that we are asking God to do that we can't do, and you hear those, and you're able to join in with that and say, right, how can I use my gifts to maybe help some of that stuff?
And if you're working in an administrative role and you feel that you're not getting that from whoever's leading or the elders or whatever, there's probably one of two reasons for that. Reason number one is communication. You're not connected enough with them, you're not hearing from him, in which case I'd say, go talk to these people, talk to the individual or whoever, and say, where do you want to go? What are you looking at? Ultimately, what would success be defined for you in this church? So get a big vision, a clear vision from him. So communication. Secondarily, the guy just may not be a leader. You may be in a church with a good-hearted pastoral guy who likes to care for folk and to preach the gospel on Sundays or whatever. And that's wonderful and good. Excuse me, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to be saying to you, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. This is what we're about. This is what we're building. And in that case, he's probably a good number two. But, then you need to be saying, talking and saying, is this ultimately what we want? Because what you find biblically and in life is that things grow and succeed and thrive through leadership. And you just have to look at across the churches that thrive, the churches that move forward, whatever their doctrine, are those that have leaders, for good and bad. And so churches, sometimes it's just time to, right, we got to relook at this.
No, that's helpful.
And otherwise, or just provoke those guys. Come on, this is what I'm trying to say to some pastors. It's more than these few things. The role is bigger than that. Scripture talks about the elders who rule well. That rule is all of this stuff. It's about leadership. It's about envisioning. It's about knowing where you're going. And these are basic life lessons that are in the church as well.
It's true. And is there anything you've particularly done over the years to kind of invest into your leadership? Have you actively gone and pursued other leaders or materials that you've looked at? Or
obviously. Me. I look at what works. I'm looking at others. I'm drawing from others. I'm wanting to learn. So where could we be weak? Who's strong? Whether that's a visit to someone or connecting with someone or reading a book on something or just drawing from whatever you can. I don't have it all. There's so much I just don't know what to do. But you just steal everything you can that works. And not steal it that you're taking it off somebody, but the ideas or the philosophy or the mistakes. You're always wanting to be like a sponge of drawing everything else in. And you know, I love to read history, so I'm a massive history buff. You know that. And I go through seasons. I'll have a season in Roman season, then I'll have a Middle Ages season, then I'll have a season over in this country, and then I'll have a season, you know, just Spanish Civil War, and I'm around the Wars of the Roses at the moment, and this is my fun reading, as well as loads of biographies and things like that. This is important for pastors. Pastors need to stretch their thinking, because it's, you know, it's great to read your theology books, and I do, and I love them, but expand your thinking. Good novels, good biographies, good history, all the time. That's helped me, because I look at some things and I think, man, I saw this same issue here in the Peasants' Revolt, and I realized what caused that, and why Richard II went the way he did, and that kind of thing. We see this repeating itself. Or if you can't read, just listen to the rest of his history on
that podcast,
and listen to Tom and Dominic, and learn from that, because there's so much to glean in both from what's happening around at the moment, both in the church and in the secular world. But a good leader should be a sponge, taking in as much as they can, drawing from everywhere, thinking, learning. But for me, history, there ain't nothing new under the sun. So whatever you're dealing with, there's 1,000 historical precedents that you can look at that will show you, oh, this happened then, this happened. Well, what did they do? How did they handle it? They didn't. They all died. Okay, we won't do it that way.
I love that. I love that. Recommendation of another podcast is great.
Yeah, there's books to read.
Yeah, there's stuff to do. And that's great, isn't it? And I'm sure there's pastors who are listening to this who just, suck, just the life and joy in some of that. Yeah, because you can be focused, can't you? Because the training is theological. The training sets you up.
Yeah, it is.
But the job is so different to the training in some places. There's a little bit of a gap there, isn't there?
It's massive, and I've been pleading for years that within seminary, or within Bible colleges, or particularly where they're training men for ministry, they should spend a lot of time getting people in that can train in leadership, as well as theological study.
The vision and the goals and the strategy that you've been talking about, that stuff is just not there, is it? And
it's not part of the curriculum.
It's so just not.
Or maybe a few days a year.
And good leaders who initiate, they will find those resources, won't they? And we'll be diving into them and learning from others, and that is the beauty, isn't it, of the church, and being someone being blessed to be part of a network where you've got really easy access to other churches and other leaders to learn from. And if you don't, then go and make those connections. And I think just going and spending a day with a leader and having a look around the church and seeing how they operate, you can pick up so much. Just come away with so much learning.
It's vital. I mean, we've got a German intern here. Young guy. Don't know what it's going to look like for him down the road. He could not learn. He could not get what he's getting at just sitting at a desk. So he's been through theological college. He's done a couple of courses.
Done his masters and everything else in theology.
But he's watching, and he's learning, and he's looking, and he's drawing, and he's sucking stuff in, and that's working for him. We can't all do internships. People can't do that. But to be able to connect with people in a way that, and I've done that in the past. I've looked at a certain church, particularly in the States, and I've thought, man, I love what they built here and how they built it. So I just made myself a nuisance a lot of times.
Knock on the doors.
And how are you doing this? What are you doing here? Tell me about this. Tell me about that. What's worked? What hasn't worked? How did you get from there to there? And that's part of the responsibility of leadership.
That's great. Pete, mate, thank you so much for your
You're welcome,
time for coming on the podcast. And for our listeners, just to keep you in the loop, we now have the Good Church Management course set up and running. You can purchase it on the website and go through the course at your own time. And some of the things that we've been talking about in terms of vision, leadership and strategy, we cover some of that in the course that might be useful for you to think through. But we've also got a whole bunch of resources that help you to manage your church and how to serve you in those areas. So if you'd like to find out more, then please do check out our website. And I also just want to finish by saying a huge thank you to our sponsors, Church Suite, for their generosity and support of the church office. And they've also got behind us on the Good Church Management course in funding some of the work that we've been doing. So a really big thank you to Gavin and the team there at Church Suite, who are serving the church with a brilliant tool. As we've already talked about, apps and tools help us so much in our ministry to communicate, and these guys are thriving in that and doing a great job. So thank you for that. Any questions for Pete or I, please get in contact at questions@thechurchoffice.co.uk. We would love to hear from you, and if we can support you or serve you in any way, for me in admin and ops and church management, please give us a shout, and I'm sure we can link you up to Pete if you're interested in talking about Woolworths and management and leading and how that works with church life. Would be great. All right, thanks Pete. Thanks everyone.
You're welcome, bud.